Imagine a girl standing at the crossroads of her life, her heart pulling her one way, her family dragging her the other. That girl was Clara, and her story is not just about love, but about choices, sacrifices, and the invisible chains of society that bind us tighter than we realize. From the very first moment she saw Daniel, the boy with nothing but dreams in his pocket, she knew her life would never be the same. Yet from the very first moment her parents saw Richard, the boy with wealth dripping from his every gesture, they knew her life should never be the same. Two visions of her future, colliding like waves against rocks, and Clara was caught in the middle. Daniel was not the kind of boy anyone expected Clara to notice. He lived in a small, crumbling house at the edge of town, his father gone, his mother working endlessly to keep food on the table. He wore secondhand clothes, patched at the elbows, shoes that had seen better days. But his eyes, those eyes carried a fire, a determination, a quiet strength that made Clara feel safe in a way no mansion ever could. He was poor, yes, but he was rich in spirit, rich in kindness, rich in the kind of love that doesn't fade when the lights go out. Clara saw that, and she cherished it. Richard, on the other hand, was everything her parents dreamed of. He was the son of a wealthy businessman, heir to an empire, polished in manners, dressed in suits that seemed tailored by destiny itself. He drove cars that turned heads, spoke with confidence that filled rooms, and carried the kind of charm that made parents believe their daughter's future was secure. To Clara's parents, Richard was not just a boy. He was a ticket to stability, prestige, and a life free from worry. They adored him, not for who he was, but for what he represented. And in their eyes, Daniel was nothing more than a shadow, a distraction, a mistake waiting to happen. Clara's heart, however, was stubborn. She met Daniel at the library, of all places. He was sitting at a corner table, scribbling notes furiously, his brow furrowed in concentration. She was curious, drawn to the intensity of his focus. When she asked what he was working on, he looked up, startled, and smiled shyly. "Dreams," he said. "I'm writing down my dreams so I don't forget them." That simple answer struck her like lightning. Who does that? Who takes the time to capture dreams on paper when reality is already so heavy? Clara was enchanted. From that day, she found herself seeking him out, listening to his ideas, his hopes, his vision of a life where love mattered more than wealth. And slowly, she fell. But love stories are never that simple. Her parents noticed the change in her, the way she smiled more, the way her eyes lit up when she spoke of someone unnamed. They pressed her, and when she confessed it was Daniel, their faces hardened. Her mother's voice trembled with disappointment. "Clara, you cannot throw your life away on a boy who has nothing. Love doesn't pay bills. Love doesn't build houses. Love doesn't secure your future." Her father was harsher. "You will marry Richard. He is everything Daniel is not. He can give you the life you deserve." Clara's protests fell on deaf ears. To them, Daniel was invisible, unworthy, a mistake she would regret. The tension grew. Clara would sneak out to meet Daniel, walking under the stars, whispering promises of forever. Daniel, though deeply in love, carried guilt. He knew her parents despised him, knew he could not compete with Richard's wealth. But he also knew that love was not a competition. It was a truth, a bond, a force stronger than money. He told Clara, "I may not have riches, but I will fight for you. I will build a life with my hands, brick by brick if I must. Just don't give up on me." Clara believed him. She believed in him. Yet the weight of her parents' expectations pressed down like chains. Richard was not blind to Clara's feelings. He saw the way she avoided his gaze, the way her smile never quite reached her eyes when they were together. He was used to admiration, used to being wanted, and Clara's indifference stung. But Richard was clever. He began to charm her parents even more, bringing gifts, speaking of business ventures, painting pictures of a future where Clara would be draped in luxury. Her parents adored him more with each passing day, and Clara felt trapped in a cage built of gold. The breaking point came one evening when Clara's father announced a dinner. Richard would be there, and Clara was expected to sit beside him, smile, and play the role of the dutiful daughter. Daniel, unaware of the dinner, waited for her at their usual meeting spot. Hours passed, and she never came. He sat alone, staring at the stars, wondering if love was enough to fight against the world. Clara, meanwhile, sat at the dinner table, her heart aching, her mind screaming, but her lips silent. Richard spoke of investments, her parents laughed, and Clara felt like a ghost in her own life. Days turned into weeks, and the battle raged on. Clara's parents tightened their grip, forbidding her from seeing Daniel. Daniel, desperate, wrote her letters, pouring his soul onto paper, leaving them hidden in the library where they first met. Clara found them, read them, and cried. His words were raw, filled with love, filled with pain, filled with the kind of honesty that money could never buy. She clutched those letters like lifelines, reminders that somewhere beyond the walls of her parents' house, love was waiting. Richard, sensing victory, pressed harder. He proposed in front of her parents, with a diamond ring that sparkled like a trap. Her parents gasped with joy, urging her to say yes. Clara's heart pounded. She looked at the ring, at Richard's expectant face, at her parents' eager eyes, and then she thought of Daniel, his patched clothes, his scribbled dreams, his quiet strength. She whispered, "No." The room fell silent. Her parents' faces twisted in shock. Richard's smile froze, and Clara felt the weight of her defiance. "I cannot marry someone I do not love," she said, her voice trembling but firm. "I love Daniel, and that is the truth." Her parents erupted in anger, accusing her of foolishness, of naivety, of throwing her life away. Richard stormed out, humiliated. Clara stood her ground, tears streaming down her face, but her resolve unshaken. She ran to the library, to Daniel, to the boy who had nothing but dreams. When she saw him, she collapsed into his arms, whispering, "I chose you. I will always choose you." Daniel held her, his own tears falling, and for a moment, the world disappeared. It was just them, two souls bound by love, defying the odds. But life is not a fairy tale. Her parents disowned her, cutting ties, refusing to support her. Clara and Daniel faced hardship, struggled to make ends meet, fought against the tide of poverty, yet through it all, their love endured. Daniel worked tirelessly, taking odd jobs, saving every penny, building slowly, painfully, but with determination. Clara stood by him, her hands calloused, her spirit tested, but her heart unwavering. Together, they carved a life from nothing, proving that love, though not easy, was worth every sacrifice. Years passed, and Daniel's dreams began to take shape. His scribbled notes turned into plans, his plans into actions, his actions into success. He started a small business, grew it with sweat and perseverance, and slowly they rose. Clara's parents watched from afar, their pride wounded, their assumptions shattered. Richard moved on, marrying someone else, living a life of wealth, but not necessarily of love. Clara and Daniel, though scarred by struggle, stood stronger than ever, their bond unbreakable. And so the story ends not with riches, not with mansions, not with diamonds, but with love. A love that defied expectations, a love that endured hardship, a love that proved itself in the face of doubt. Clara loved the poor boy, her parents loved the rich one, but in the end, it was Clara's choice that mattered. She chose love, and in choosing love, she chose freedom, truth, and a life that was truly hers. And that perhaps is the greatest wealth of all.